Hello everyone. Welcome to another session on the Syllabus Explained. While the UPSC does provide us with a syllabus, but there is a lot that lies between the lines. And the mains examination is all about two things, that is the management of a topic and the articulation or the expression part. Every question that you come across in the mains examination is based on a topic, on a concept, or a set of them. And how you write and how you express that particular concept in a particular context that has been asked as part of the question determines the marks you score. So, through our Syllabus Explained series, we are trying to deconstruct the UPSC syllabus to its most granular levels so that you have a pinpointed idea that what does a macro unit, a macro topic entail? What are the various things that are to be covered as part of that particular topic? So, in today's series, in today's video as part of our series, we will be taking up the Unit-8 Development Dynamics of Paper-1 Administrative Theory for the subject of Public Administration Optional. I am Abhishiekh Saxena. So, if we see the syllabus given by UPSC for this unit, it comprises of 7 broad heads. That is the very concept of development, the changing profile of development administration. So you see, in a very hideous manner, with regards to development administration, it just mentions changing profile. It does not talk about the concept. But can you study the changing profile without studying the concept and the various dimensions it entails? No. Similarly, the concept of anti-development thesis, it's a whole school of thought. Then the relationship between bureaucracy and development. Now this is something that you will find highly related even with paper 2, because a similar concept gets asked vis-a-vis bureaucracy and democracy and bureaucracy and development. Moving further, again a set of concepts, that is strong state versus market debate. While the syllabus is hinting towards the debate, we'll have to look at the strong state and the how and why of it, and why the market. In what context? In the context of the development. Then of course, the impact of liberalization on administration in developing countries. While it is a general head, we are in specific talking about the DA, that is the development administration. Also, if you see the impact of liberalization, privatization, globalization, you'll find that it's garnished at multiple places across the syllabus, even in Unit 1 of Paper 1. Last but not the least, women and development and the self-help group movement. So while women and development and self-help group movement does find a mention in the syllabus which seem very specific, but there are concepts. Women development, right, and women in development. Okay, so such concepts which lay somewhere in between these lines given by the UPSC, we are here to deconstruct the syllabus. So let's get started. So if you look at the very concept of development, we'll have to look at the meaning. What do we mean by development? And that will entail again the views of scholars and their analysis. Moving further, the meaning of development administration itself as a paradigm of sorts. Not paradigm when we say in the classical sense of the evolution of public administration, but as a whole school of thought. Why it emerged. And the two fork idea that we can sum up DA with, or development administration with, that is the development administration and the administration of development, the carrying out of development. The development of administration and administration of development, the two fork ideas, and these ideas have come into the examination time and again. Then what are the characteristics, objectives and functions of development administration? What is its nature? What all areas does it touch upon? And all these will involve scholarly views, concepts, the whole bifurcation of development: political, social, cultural, sustainable, environmental, so on and so forth. Then the importance, what are the various developing variables? Here, what all inputs or the factors which vary, the scope and the problems. And if we have the problems, solutions are not far behind. So is the solutions. So it will involve a synthesis of conceptual theoretical elements as well as the contemporary and the practical discourse. Hence, this unit demands a heavy application orientation. Moving further, the bureaucracy and the development debate, and therefore we are looking at the role of bureaucracy in the process of development. Are they complementary? Are they antithetical? So both conceptual and contemporary dimensions are to be addressed. Then Edward Weidner's models of development. And these are the various models: the ideal planned directional growth with system change, short run payoff planned directional growth with no system change, the long run payoff planned system change with no directional growth, failure planning with no growth or system change, environmental stimulus, unplanned directional growth with system change, pragmatism, unplanned directional growth with no system change, crisis, unplanned system change with no directional growth, static society, and a basic review and analysis of these models. So while the models at times might not come directly in the exam, but they nonetheless remain important for our analysis. I told you that the questions are highly interlinked in nature. There are questions which are having application orientation. So you might not have a question which is premised upon only single topic, right? It can be multidisciplinary as well when it comes to the unit of development dynamics. So in this entire context, we will have to see bureaucracy and development debate and the models. Further, the changing profile of development. What do we mean by development dynamics? How the profile has changed with the coming up of idea. If you see the timeline, it is parallel with CPA. So while discussing the CPA syllabus explained, I told you that there was a portion of development administration. So if you haven't seen that video, you will find that in the playlist or on the YouTube channel, wherein I have explained the syllabus of the Unit 7 CPA, that is Comparative Public Administration. So these changes will have to be seen, the reasons for the changes and how do they move about, right? After this, if you see, the challenges of development and administration in the 21st century. In the 21st century, how does it play out at this instant? The various factors, traditional values, religion, politics, the political factors in public service management, because this is linked to development administration. So a hint of the concept of public service management. Then comes the concept of anti-development thesis. Mind you, the names can be confusing. It is not against development. It is something that is a new orientation against the conventional approach. Hence, it has been named like anti-development thesis. So, with the light of anti-development thesis, we'll have to look theory of policy reversals and the very criticism of the approach of anti-development thesis and a survey of development administration in the new millennium. Right? Of course, it will involve recent developments. I told you it has a lot of contemporary character. Moving further, the strong state versus market debate. Again, the concepts, debates, present status, the manifestations, all will have to be studied. Remember, the concepts like NPM, good governance, and whatever we read in Unit 1, if you haven't seen the syllabus detailed explained of Unit 1, please have a look. All of those concepts will be invoked here. The role of public administration, and here the development public administration. The development public administration in the age of liberalization, the impact of liberalization angle. What are the reasons for state interventions? Women and development. So, concepts like women and development, and within that, women development, women in development. Mind you, these are different concepts. So, they have to be studied. And the self-help group movement, origins, examples, present status, pros, cons, solutions. And the group model for women, including elements of microfinance. Here we'll have to link the self-help groups in India. I hope all of you know Kudambashri, right? This is one of the most popular self-help groups. Okay, so we'll have to attach a practical dimension to it. Where they are performing, where they are not performing, the reasons why they are not performing, a holistic appraisal of the self-help group movement. So, if you look at this particular unit, it has a lot to offer us. Now, let us have a look how this unit fares in the exam. So, if you will see huge distribution, roughly 10% distribution, 40 marks out of 400 get asked. And increasingly we are seeing that highly application integration oriented questions are being asked from this unit, or which can be pinned to this unit. Wherein the bureaucracy and development, women and development, self-help group movement and changing profile of development remains one of the favorite or amongst the favorite set of topics. But look at here, abstract topics. Equal, right? Abstract would here mean interdisciplinary in nature. Some things, a question which you cannot pin to just one or two set of subtopics, and therefore interlinking is the key. So the manner of studying of this particular unit has to be that interlinking driven, while notes can be in silos, right? The state versus the market debate and impact of liberalization have a fairly low weightage as in the recent years, not to suggest that they are not important. Now look at the placement of the questions. This is very interesting, largely in part B of paper 1. Part B of paper 1. One question has been asked in question number 4. But look at the frequency, at least one compulsory question. It can be more, that is why the marks you see reflect that. Hence, it is very important that this unit and the CPA should be covered in conjunction together, right? Because both units feed into each other. Whenever we'll be looking at the changing profile of development, we'll have to invoke CPA in places. Now, what are the sources? If you look at the sources, the first point of reference and the easiest point of reference remains the IGNOU material. Then of course, Mohit Bhattacharya, second AR Administrative Reforms Commission reports to cite practical examples and to reason out in Indian context, and the contemporary issues, the current affairs that you read. So I hope that this deconstruction of the unit of development dynamics would help you refine your learning. We'll meet in another video with another unit deconstructing its syllabus. Thank you.